to the opening position and explore different line. So if black takes on c3 instead of playing bishop a5, we reach this position. When I started to play, began to play this line some 20 years ago, there were 3 options for white. Bishop b5 was considered the main options always. Bishop e3 was also playable, and d5 was the modest move, which could be played but was not so popular. Now I can safely say that d5 is the strongest move is in this position. The problem with bishop b5 is that after knight e7, bishop g5 now the main move. Because after knight e4, black has short castle, and now white has problem with d4 pawn, because after bishop e3, black has f5 and then f4, attacking bishop and again targeting d4 pawn. So the best continuation for white is to play in gambit style. Bishop g. Some problem with inputting moves. With bishop g5, f6. Bishop e3, castle. This bishop g5 provokes f6 a little bit weakening position around the black's king, but black is fine after queen d2 and both f5 and a6. I will not show the exact move, the exact line from black's point of view, because I focus on white's side of this Winawer line. So bishop e3 is very little explored line, where white wants to continue in pure gambit style with g4, bishop g2, then queen d2, long castle. It is playable, especially in blitz, but I will show you something different. D takes e4, d5, e takes d5. Before we go to this main line, I will show you knight e7. This tricky move could be very nice for black if white was forced to take on e4, because after queen d1, white must take with king to preserve the option to take on e4, but here after long castle, black is probably better, because white king is has a shaky position in the center. But after knight e7, white's strongest continuation is queen g4, attacking g7 pawn. And after king f8, d takes e6. Now if bishop takes e6, then queen e4, and white is fine. So knight f6, queen e2, bishop e6, and knight e4. We can see that white will enjoy bishop pair advantage in resulting position, despite black a little bit better developed, but position of his king on f8 gives white all the chances to press black later on the later stage of the game. So the main line is e takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop e4, queen takes e4, and knight f6. And if we evaluate this position statically, white is better because of bishop pair in very open position. But because black is better developed, white need to make some exact moves. And here is the best move, in my opinion, is queen h4. Queen a4 with the same idea to meet queen d4 with move like bishop b5, because after queen h4, queen d4, white plays bishop g5, which is similar but on the different flanks. Long. And queen e5. Yes, the best move here is probably long castle. Queen d4, knight d4, long castle. Here is bishop pair advantage, and just a pleasant endgame for white. If rook takes d4 to avoid white's castling, white plays bishop f6, g takes f6, bishop d3. So no advantage of bishop pair, but now white enjoys the advantage of better pawn structure. And again, we have a very one-sided endgame when only hope for black is to make a draw. So when I played this line against French GM Edouard, he played queen e5 with idea to meet bishop e2 with knight d4. But actually knight d4 is already quite a mistake, because after very strong white's reply, long castle, is already problematic for black to do something. Of course, we have to see what happens if black just take a piece. After bishop f6, g takes f6, rook f1, rook e1, black has no good square for queen, because queen c4 is not an option because of queen c4. And because of queen, black loses. So black can play, say, queen b5 or queen a6. But after queen takes f6, short castle, and rook d3, black is basically helpless against rook g3 threat, and the main the most what black can do here is to play bishop g4, queen a6, ba6, rook g3, h5, h3, and again white will end this line with extra pawn, because it takes the bishop back. And if black plays rook g8, is also very important what to know what to do here. Only one move gives white advantage, and this move is rook e3. It's a key move for this position. White is prepared to play rook d3 and mate black after rook d8. And basically there is no defense for black. Also, white has other idea to play rook. No, rook e1 and then take on e6 and win queen and 2 or 3 pawns for 2 rooks, which also leads to winning position for white. So my opponent recognized that knight e2 leads nowhere for him and played long castle. But after the simple move bishop d3, white is again a little better, maybe not so little like in previous example without queens, when black has better coordination of his pieces, because rook e1 now comes with tempo, and after h6 it's almost forced. Bishop takes, queen takes, queen takes, g takes f6, knight e4. White has a very pleasant advantage, and I went on to win this game as well. So let us return to this position. Instead of taking on c3 and then playing knight c6, which leads to transposition to the line which we see before, I also add that knight f6 is not good for black because of bishop g5, and white takes e4 back, e4 pawn back, and enjoys again the bishop pair. It is a very important motif of this line. White very often takes the bishop pair in open position, comparing with main Winawer lines when white plays e5, then black exchanges on c3, and again white has bishop pair, but in closed position it means not much. But here this bishop pair is very strong. So black can play bishop e7. It's also good and safe option for black, Black gives white a chance to take on e4 this pawn back, but counts that position of knight on e2 is worse, and it actually worse than position of this knight on f3. And it's white aim to organize his pieces in such a way to make this knight on e2 position useful. There are different moves to black. For example, after knight f6 and knight d7, and also knight c6, I offer the same setup. White bishop comes to f4, queen comes on d3, and white makes long castle. After this, white can think what to do next. It could be queen g3, if there is no option of knight h5 to fork queen and bishop, attacking both g7 and c7. It's one of options. Other option is to play h4 against black's king side, and maybe after h5, even with knight on f6, white will already have queen g3, because h5 square is not reachable for black's knight. Now let's see how it works on practice. Knight f6, queen d3, and in one of my games, black took on e4 and played queen d5. I answered with queen f4, attacking c7, c5, knight c3 is a very strong move, because black is almost forced to go for this position. Queen takes on d4, c takes d4, knight b5, threatening both knight c7 and having in mind taking on d4. Sorry, I made a mistake. It was an option, but even better was to play knight b5 immediately, attacking both knight c7, threatening both knight c7 and knight takes d4, and taking a tempo and activating the bishop. Knight a6, queen d6, knight d6, bishop takes, and because black cannot play b6, because he loses after bishop b5, bishop d7 not possible, bishop a6, king d8 and long castle. So because of this trick, black cannot avoid that white takes on a6, then takes the pawn back, and again enjoys the play for two results. My opponent played bishop d7. Yes, Hector. I took on a6 and played bishop c5. It is not draw, even because of opposite colored bishop, because this double pawns on a7 and a6 is target, especially a7, of course. And also white already has a passer on c5, on c file. And also black has to do something with his king, because short castle is not possible. I will show a few more moves of my game to prove my statement that actually this position is quite bad for black and it is not easy to defend. Rook c8 is logical. b4. Of course, I don't want to exchange my c passer for a7 pawn. Bishop b5, long castle. Rook c7. Rook e1, h5. He wants to develop his rook via h6 square. Rook d4. I'm preparing c4. Rook h6 also. c4 is not immediately played, but I tried mate on d8 in one. f6, rook d8, king f7, rook f8, king g6. So rook on h6 does not come to play. And to underline this, I played h4, and rook is a little bit cut out of play. King f5, g3, again creating a wall against the rook. And rook g6, rook h8. I attack h5 pawn. And again, he cannot protect it. If rook h6, I will take, and now already black has one more weakness on h6. I will take on a7 or on h6 later. It is clear that black cannot defend all these pawns and will probably win with extra pawn. And also you see that black cannot attack any of white's pawns. f2 is protected with bishop. c2 is not reachable for black's pieces. So basically black can do nothing here. My opponent played king g4, but after rook d4, king f3, rook f4, king g2, I won a pawn on h5 and later won this game. So let's come to the opening position after queen d3. Or even better on this position, knight d7 is another option for black. Bishop f4. White continues with his plan. In this position, white also plays both knight 2 on c3 or knight 2 on g3. But I don't personally, I don't like these options, because white playing this, white tells that yes, with knight e2 it's something wrong with knight e2, and I have to make another move with this knight to develop my pieces. It is not my aim. I want to organize the pieces in different way. So bishop f4. Knight f6, queen d3. short castle, long castle, say b6, h4, bishop b7, and the second important hint about this position is the white's bishop often takes e5 square instead of knight, as we often see in other lines of, for example, in Rubinstein, when knight from f3 comes to e5. The plan is to meet some moves like queen g4 with this way. Queen comes on e8, knight f4. And now knight goes to h5. And white makes a lot of pressure against g7, trying to provoke g6. And then play knight f6 and attack black's king, or h5. If I play g6, h5 again to crash the king side pawn shield of black's king. And black's bishop pair here does not work at all. White's pieces are more active, then bishop comes to d3, and it's very good. This position is very good for white. I will show one more game. To explore some more plans for white. Knight f6, queen d3, bishop d7 was played by one of my opponents, international master. But white has the same plan: knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f4, c5, long castle. White will be happy if black takes on d4, and white can take on d4 with knight. If knight comes on d4, it's no difference if it comes from f3 or e2. So it's always when knight comes here. And e5, it doesn't work because of rook e1 or maybe queen e3. Anyway, with not developed king, black cannot play so actively in the center, of course. So my opponent played bishop g5, bishop g5, queen g5, king b1, short castle, and here instead of bishop e2, as I play it, which is also normal move, even stronger was queen b3, creating immediate pressure against black's queen side. White has only one tempo. White is only one tempo ahead in development, and it allows to attack queen side and and makes a lot of troubles for black. Now, for example, if blacks play queen d5, then white, of course, can take and come to pleasant endgame, and also bishop c4, queen g2, rook g1 is very strong. Yes, it's even stronger. Queen e4, probably f3, and then queen takes on b7, and white probably wins a piece. So it's other line how to play for white. And now we come to another game. Which is probably the most stubborn line for black in this setup with bishop e7. So knight d7, bishop f4, knight f6, queen d3, knight e4, queen e4, knight f6, queen f3. And here my opponent played queen d5. Which is actually a sacrifice of c7 pawn. The normal continuation castle and castle leads to very similar position when white then play bishop e5, queen g3, or maybe h4, and black did not solve the problem with bishop on c8 yet. G4, not sure, Hector, because even after G5, white threatens nothing at the moment. I want to organize pieces in a different way. Queen d5 was played in my game. I took, queen takes on f3, g takes, bishop d7. He wants to play rook c8 and takes a pawn back. But after knight c3, this threat disappears, and despite I have this many of pawn islands with h2, f2, f3, but I have extra pawn, and again I finally went on to win this game. But there is one more option for black, which is also very complex, and this option is knight f6. e5, and now black can choose play knight e4 or knight d7. If knight e4, I again advocate move queen d3. No, Hector, I don't want to give my dark squared bishop. It's I always like to preserve it, and it often tells later when this bishop has no counterpart, because black's bishop is very often exchanged on c3. And also I don't like to allow black to take on c3 and double my pawns like in this line, and we get a very similar position to usual French Winawer. Again, I like to keep my pawn chain flexible, and in this case eventual bishop pair can work much better. So queen d3, c5, the most logical and challenging line. a3, and here black must play c4. I will show you later why bishop a5 is not good. And white plays queen e3 or queen f3, probably queen e3. Bishop a5, let's say g3, then bishop g2 and short castle. And again I did what I wanted. I avoided this doubling pawns on c file and want to play with flexible pawn structure. Yes, I have no bishop pair here, but I have better control in the center, more space on the center and the king side. So it's again normal game and slight advantage for white. Queen could again I tell that queen also could come on f3 with the same ideas. Maybe here bishop can come on e3 or f4, but on the other hand bishop on g2 will not attack e4 immediately. But one of my opponents played bishop a5 here, which is already quite a mistake, because white takes on c5, knight takes c3, knight takes c3, d4, it is what my opponent counting for. But after b4, black must take, white takes. Now, despite again, white has a lot of pawn islands, but one of them is extra pawn, and also white dark squared bishop is extremely strong. For example, after queen takes a5, white can play queen g3, and now it is not clear what to do with black's king side. g6 makes a lot of holes on the queen side. King f8 cuts h8 rook from play for many moves. Yeah, in this position, even black can win pawn on c5 later. It will count not much. c3 pawns will fall sooner or later, and again bishop pair will tell. Yes, Hector, and of course short castle is just bad because of bishop h6. So black took on d3 in the game. Sorry, I took with c pawn, knight c6. I cannot protect everything, so because of this I just develop pieces. Knight takes a5. He could also take on e5, but then bishop d4 is strong. Rook c1, and I won pawn on c3, and again won again soon. f5 is also a decent option for black to strengthen knight on e4 and taking some space on king side. Probably is not good for white to take on f6, because after knight takes f6, black gets a very good French type of position. In this case, queen on d3 looks quite stupid, and after short castle and c5 or maybe knight c6 and e5, black has very good prospects later. But after e3, bishop e7, it was my game against Grandmaster Drozdovsky. I played here knight d1 with the idea to meet c5, c3, with c3, but the resulting position is very double-edged. I won this game in the end, but did not like my position. But here I tell you about the novelty. G4, it's what I analyzed, and it's very strong move, which is much more in the spirit of the line, of this line. And if blacks meet it with bishop h4 attacking f2, bishop e3, knight takes, queen takes c3, f take g4, rook g1, attacking g4, and now if black protects g4 with h5, but white plays h3, and you can compare the value of pieces. With one more move, long castle, white will finish his development, while black is still very much behind in development of his queen side, and it is not clear if he has time to do this. Actually, this position is already much better for white, and h5 is not good, but in other case, white just takes on g4 and again has some development advantage with very active pieces. So the last move which I want to show you is the last line is knight d7. When personally I prefer f4, and if c5, then a3. If black plays bishop a5, then white just takes on c5. Knight cannot take because of b4. So to get this pawn back, black again must give his bishop, but then white is just fine. If black plays knight bishop c3 immediately, white can play knight b5. Threatening both knight d6 and knight d4. And after castle, I can just take on d4 with good position. I say that this position is much better for white, but this is normal position with slight advantage. When I played this line with Polish woman game Monika Sochko, she answered f4 with g6. After which I played h4 to employ my rook h1 into play with h5 and to provoke h5 when short castle for black will be already very dangerous because of all of stuff, such stuff as g4 undermining the pawn chain. So she played c5. c5 is almost always in this line answered with a3. Again, bishop a5, d takes c5 is not good. So she took on c3, knight takes c3, c takes d4, knight b5. And with inclusion of moves g6 and h4, it is even better for white, because she has to do something against knight d6 threat, and she castled. I took on d4, and now with h5 coming, it's already black kings become problematic. She played knight c5. At first, I decided to finish my development, not to play h5 immediately. Knight e4, bishop d3, f5, e takes, queen takes, bishop takes, queen e2, and with castling long side on the next move, white has big advantage, safer king, better pawn structure, and more active bishop at the moment. It's very important for opposite for positions with opposite colored bishops. She played knight c6, a2, b takes, castle, then sacrifices pawn and f4, and won this game easily, because only white is side which can attack black's king. Black can do nothing against white king, and this means the white advantage is almost decisive. So probably this is all for today. I showed you all replies for white against all main black's moves, some of tricks which is very important to learn, such as queen g7, queen f6, bishop h6 in the beginning of the lecture. Some hint then when c5 is almost always is met by a3, and also the strategical aim. We don't want to allow black to double our pawns on c5. We want to preserve our pawn structure flexible and aim for maybe endgame with bishop pair, or maybe with for endgame with better pawn structure, or
fantastic, Yuri.
Normal game with
fantastic.
some
so
space advantage. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.